Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 8, text number 59 and 60. Evam kayena manasa vachasa cha manogatam paricharyamano bhagavan bhaktimat paricharyaya punsam amayinam samyak bhajatam bhavavardhanaha shreyo dishati habimatam yadharmadishu dehina. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Anyone who thus engages in devotion service of the Lord seriously and sincerely with his mind, words, and body, and who is fixed in the activities of the prescribed devotional methods, he is blessed by the Lord according to his desire. If a devotee desires material religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation from material world, he is awarded these results. Purport. Devotion service is so potent that one who renders devotion service can receive whatever he likes as a benediction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The conditioned souls are very much attached to the material world, and thus by performing religious rites, they want the material benefits known as dharma and artha. The sense the Bhaktivedanta purport. So, the instructions of Narada Rishi to Dhruva continues. He gave him the mantra. He asked him to meditate and engage in service of the deities in whichever form easily he can do it. And even if worse situation where externally he cannot have a deity, then he should worship within the heart by reciting the mantra. And anyone who engages thus in the above manner in devotional service of the Lord, then it is said here in this particular verse, all his desires are fulfilled. If a devotee desires, in case he had material desires, it gets fulfilled because he is the awarder of all the results for all the jivas. Now here Prabhupada is saying devotion service is so potent that one who renders devotion service can receive whatever he likes as a benediction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, as a corollary, we can say that let's say we are performing devotion service. We are all performing devotion service under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada. So it is so potent. Then whatever he likes as a benediction, he'll get. Now you may wonder why we are not getting. So many, I go out to collect. I don't get the result. Why should I get benediction? Whatever I desire for the service of the Lord, I should immediately get it. Devotion service is so potent that one who renders devotion service can receive whatever he likes as a benediction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, here it is. The verse says that it is about dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Those things. Anyway, devotees don't desire that. Devotees who are in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Kama Bhaktas, There are devotees of the Supreme Lord who are having material desires and who are not, their goal is not eternal life. Their goal is to be in the material world, be a good devotee, and enjoy material life. Material life as per the principles of material life. In the material life also, the Lord has got you have to pursue dharma, artha, kama, moksha. You have to pursue artha, kama, according to the principles of dharma. So these are all some of the things that, every living entity in the material world has got this option of being in this material world and satisfying his desires, fulfilling his desires. Now the fact is that we have all come into this material world. We might have become devotees now, or trying to become devotees now. But when you take birth, the very fact that we have received a body, material body, means the material body has got the certain material desires to be fulfilled. Material desires to be fulfilled according to different, forces of guna, kala and karma. These forces are released by the three modes of material nature automatically with time. When you are 5 years old, your body, mind, intelligence, etc., whatever the forces that come, that will be different from when you are 10 years old. It will be different from when you are 15 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. But these are all destined, in the sense that we have taken birth in a material body means, in a particular material body means, it is meant for experiencing certain sukha and dukkha. Those fruits. So in order to deliver those fruits, different intelligence comes, etc., etc. So now we decided that we should engage in devotion service of the Lord. I want to become a devotee of the Lord. So though we decide to become the devotee of the Lord, we decide to engage in devotion service of the Lord, we decide that I want eternal life, and then we come to the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, Guru and Krishna, and we engage in the process of devotion service. And in the course of process of devotion service, we have two types of devotion service. One is direct devotion service of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, directly associating with the Lord. Like we have our morning program. And then we have our preaching program. So there is a sadhana service and preaching service. Sadhana devotion service and preaching devotion service. If you take all the sadhana devotional service, you will see that they are all an opportunity for directly touching the Lord by chanting, hearing, worshipping the deity, seeing the deities, kirtana, Guru Puja, Tulsi Puja. All these are directly we are associating with the Lord during the sadhana time. Then after that sadhana, then we are engaging in various services for the Lord. Up to prasadam is sadhana. Morning sadhana, even prasadam is also sadhana. Direct touch. Now, after that, various services are there. Now, various services, how do you perform your services? With your mind-body system, with your yantra, right? So, yantra has certain abilities, yantra has certain capacities. In a dynamic way, the yantra, according to Kala, it manifests different Shaktis. Our mind-body system manifests different Shaktis to do work. We do work to fulfill those Shaktis are actually coming as per our prarabdha karma for fulfillment of our destined Sukha and Dukha. So we get resources internally and externally to fulfill our material desires as per the laws of karma. But now we have surrendered to Guru and Krishna. Surrender to Guru and Krishna means Guru and Krishna takes charge of our karma. Means they decide to manage our karma in such a way that it is all engaged in service of the Lord and you don't get a reaction. You have to come back again for one more life. If we engage or if we doubt, so that is direct sadhana. Sadhana is direct devotion service. This is dovetailing devotional service. So in dovetailing devotion, so improvement of Krishna consciousness means not only improvement in sadhana, but improvement in dovetailing devotion service. Improvement in dovetailing, improvement in sadhana means the quality of bhakti, the quality of japa, quality of our consciousness, all those things. And improvement of dovetailing service. What does that mean? Improvement means. Does it mean collect more? Does it mean become smarter in your work? No. It means learning. Again, it is about consciousness of how to work for Krishna. So therefore, so in one sense, our preaching service as well as sadhana, preaching service is also sadhana. Sadhana, how we do purely, how we have to try to do purely, chant better and all those things. In the same way, we have a challenge to improve our consciousness of doing our service. Consciousness that Krishna is in control of the results, consciousness that Krishna is the doer, consciousness that I am his servant, working as a servant, consciousness of seeking direction, help from Paramatma. So these are all some of the things that are the challenges, spiritual challenges during the dovetailing service. Many times this part we neglect. And we think that Guru is pleased if I bring more material results. Guru and Krishna in the dovetailing service, no doubt at a social level, Prabhupada said distribute books, double distribution, this thing, that thing, build temples, all those things he has told. But it has its own place. It cannot, by asking us to do all those things, Prabhupada is dovetailing our gunas. But we have to understand that there is a quality of dovetailing that gunas which also is expected from Prabhupada. That means, otherwise, what will happen is in dovetailing devotion service, what are the forces in dovetailing devotion service? Is my own, prarabdha karma shakti, all those things. Plus Krishna is giving us whatever we lack, he is providing for that service. So ultimately you achieve something with the help of Krishna and you are offering your mind and body and words and everything you are offering. And then Krishna is the Paramatma, the Lord in the heart. He is supplying us all deficit intelligence, deficit bala, jnana, all those things He is giving. So devotees in the dovetailing devotion service, they achieve things much, much beyond what as a karmi they would have achieved. But those karmic forces are also dovetailed. So what is achieved is much, much beyond all his limitations. So these are the aspects we have to always, the perspective of dovetailing service that we do. Material, of course, everything that we do for Krishna, we have to do expertly. We have to do perfectly. We have to do nicely. We have to do all those things. Materially also, we should try. But we should understand that we should not get lost in that. That's not the main component of dovetailing devotion service. The main component of dovetailing devotion service is to learn spiritual lessons from that service. Spiritual lessons of detachment, spiritual dependence, learning dependence upon the Lord, surrendering to the Lord when you actually do the devotion service. So these are all the things this is the way one should practice quality dovetailing devotional service. So we should not be simply blind. Oh, it is material work. Work for Krishna it is work. No, it's not. Work means the output of the work is what is required. If you think that is work, then you think that result is everything. Result also has a role to play in making us spiritually mature or improve our consciousness. So in this way, the devotee's life, not only morning he is with Krishna in his sadhana, throughout the day he is Guru and Krishna conscious when he is engaging in devotion service. Now, in this process, once the dovetailing devotion service begins as a mixed devotion service. What is this mixed devotion service? Because my guna pravaha, the gunas that come in me from morning to evening, they are largely based upon my prarabdha karma. And prarabdha karmas, that force is meant to give false ego sukha and dukkha. Nothing to do with the soul. To give sukha and dukkha to the false ego. So mixed devotion service means, okay, I am working for Krishna. That's okay. Result is for Krishna. But at the same time, our false ego is also eating rasa. So that is mixed devotion service. So the challenge or advancement that we have to make in dovetailing devotion service that is a challenge, to engage in devotion service free from false ego. Goal, that's the ideal goal. To engage in devotion service, to be free from false ego, we have to have very powerful sadhana. If you don't have a daily powerful sadhana of associating directly with Krishna, then false ego rasa will take over. That is why Prabhupada has given us a perfect balance of sadhana and dovetailing service. This is very important. Sooner or later, if the sadhana is not there, direct association is not there, sufficient number of hours, then only one who is working for Krishna, his advancement will be slow. because he'll also be feeding his conditioned false ego. You cannot help. You're born. You're born with a lauding tendency. You're born for lauding in a particular way. So on a daily basis, this false ego should go away by higher rasa of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, all these material desires will come. Devotee is very careful. A devotee in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's parampara, ultimately they want pure devotional service. That's a goal. So devotees in this line of parampara, they're very careful of having desires for dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The verse says it will get fulfilled. So a karmi may think, hey, it's very good. Devotion service is very powerful. Dharma, artha, kama, whatever I desire, I'll get. Right? But the devotee in this line of pure devotion service, they have fear. Hey, no, I don't want dharma, artha, kama. I'm chanting Hare Krishna. If I just desire, things will come true. Or if I am chanting, if I maintain any of these things, I'll be born as a demigod. And all the sukha, all the demigod sukha I'll get. Because this is very powerful. Devotion service is powerful not only in the spiritual sense, devotion service is powerful in the material sense. It is the highest punya. So, if some of our desires are not getting fulfilled in this life itself, material desires or whatever it is, one should think that it is a special mercy of the Lord. If we fulfill, then I may, some of these desires may take me away from devotion service. So therefore, one of the principles of surrender is not to have any desire other than desire of the Lord. This is the path we are taking, the path of surrender to Krishna. Because we know these material desires are all, and the fruits of all that are temporary. I don't need that. I don't want that. I have decided. I come for pure devotional service to Prabhupada and Krishna. But as a matter of fact, one has to understand that devotion service is very powerful. If you carry any material desires in the heart, if not this life, next life it will get fulfilled. To fulfill such material desire, you have to be in the material world. That means you are extending your material life. Prabhupada says, in this life you finish everything. In one life you finish everything. Go back to Godhead and become pure devotee. Engage in pure devotional service. So, it's all very interconnected. It's such a, very powerful program that Prabhupada has given us. That if we follow those things, and immediately over the years, we strictly follow those things, then our dovetailing devotion service also will become pure. No mixed devotion service. You don't work for false ego. You don't feed it. It is very difficult to figure out where I am feeding my false ego and all the very difficult to figure out. So don't try to figure out. Simply, have a very strong sadhana. And then while engaging in devotion service, we have to learn the art of engaging in devotion service, practical devotion service, working for the Lord. We have to learn the art of that without feeding our false ego. False ego means sense gratification, social gratification. Sense gratification and ego gratification. conditioned souls are very attached to the material world, and thus they perform religious rites. They want benefits known as dharmartha. So, as a matter of fact, Narada Rishi is saying, anyone who engages in devotional service of the Lord seriously and sincerely, with his mind, words and body, according to the principles of devotional methods, is blessed according to his desire. That means his desires will get fulfilled. So as far as we are concerned, the message is that we have to be extremely careful because devotion service is powerful. I may not be even serious. Simply I'll maintain one desire. Chalo, ho gaya. You'll have to fulfill that. You have to take one birth to enjoy that. Wasting time. And in that process, you may forget Krishna. Now at least, I am in a situation where I am protected. I can engage in devotion service of the Lord with the association of Vaishnavas. And then, we should rather be scared. Because ultimately, what does Bhagavatam say? It says that it is all foolish. Dharmartha, kama, moksha is all foolish. We have to attain our status as one with Krishna in quality. I am also Satchidananda, and attain the status of being his eternal servant. That is the goal of Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. That is the goal. So always devotees remain in the association of They remain in the association of devotees, because in the association of karmis, you will get material desires. You'll get material desires. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
There are two extremes. Like one is to devotees think I should do service to Prabhupada, and they forget sadhana. Other extreme is that somebody is only interested in sadhana and trying to take a comfort zone and not doing the services, which he could have done otherwise. But as years pass in ashram, we understand what is our abilities, what we can do. It is easy to identify how much I can do, how much I cannot do. But in the case of young devotees, so how should they understand this? Because young devotee may think otherwise, if I do this much, probably I will not be able to do sadhana. So he will speculate and try to remain in a comfort zone. He may come and tell authorities, Prabhu, I will not be able to do this service. If I do this, I will not be able to do sadhana. It may be his speculation. So he knows that sadhana is important, and he neglects the service part. Otherwise, he could have done so much of service. Thinking this, he neglects the part which you were telling today, the dovetailing rightly with all his energy is used in Krishna consciousness. How should one ensure that in the younger days of Krishna consciousness, that he is fully dovetailed and at the optimum level?
Yeah. This is this kind of situations that young devotees face should take guidance and association from more experienced devotees. It is not only what that balance is very important. Your question is about that balance. Suppose one wants to justify one's laziness. That's exactly what I said. Dovetailing devotion service cannot be. It also has to develop purity. So we have to be very careful if I am trying to avoid service, whether it is my false ego or actually something is, an imbalance. Sometimes it could be imbalance. So I don't have time to chant, I don't have time to this. Is it that? Or is it my laziness to do service? That means if both are extremely important, why? If we don't, just like Prabhupada could have given us a program where whole day you can sit and chant and do direct sadhana, bhajana. But he did not do it. Why he did not do it? Because there is this is what the Acharya, according to time, place and circumstances, he said instead of 64 rounds, you chant 16 rounds. And then you engage in different preaching services. So this is a program given to us by the Acharya. Reason being that if we don't engage our bodily, mental, intellectual, emotional forces that come with time, with kala, that come, if you don't dovetail it, it will disturb our whole, even sadhana will get disturbed. So therefore, this combination is very important. So devotees should think, that is why I use the word. Both dovetailing service also should be called as sadhana. Dovetailing service should also be called as sadhana. And the direct touch of the Lord morning program, that is also sadhana. That is one type of sadhana, this is another type of sadhana. If you ignore one type of sadhana, it will hit back the other way. So, if you don't have dovetailing sadhana, then because the whole day you are not engaged, you cannot peacefully do sadhana. Because those forces are all not redirected. So your attention, everything, very difficult to engage in good quality sadhana. Similarly, if you don't have good quality sadhana, if you're not associated properly with the Lord, not doing on a day-to-day basis, your dovetailing service will feed your false ego. So we have to make sure that both are extremely important. Both are extremely important for us to maintain our Krishna consciousness. So if you take a decision one way, sadhana is important, morning sadhana is important, I have no time for sadhana, this thing, that thing, all day, I have no time for this service, is overburdening me, etc. All kind of, we should find out what is the motivation behind my saying yes or no to a service. It not only happens to young devotees, it happens to older devotees also. Yes to some service, no to some service. Sometimes, when you have to say no, you say yes. When you say yes, you have to say no. You will say no. That has to be based on different circumstances, different situation. That is why experience is required with the experienced devotees. Better, I don't decide for myself. I can think and go and present it to someone. Because the best way to solve some of the problems, our own problems, just like you see, best way to see your face is go to a mirror. Though you can see somebody's face very, very nicely, but to see your own face, you can see it better with a mirror. Not because I'm not capable of seeing. No, you're capable of seeing everybody else, but yourself you cannot see. So in the same way, that is where when this kind of balance issue comes, we may be kamchor. Better go and meet somebody and they will be able to see. Simply you're just taking an excuse not to do service in the name of sadhana, in the name of chanting, all these things. So in the association of, you have to take, you have to consult. Young devotees also have to consult. Old devotees have to also consult. Consult means you are taking another Vaishnava as a mirror. Especially that is the duty of the authority also, to act as a mirror. If he act as a mirror and if he is solving a devotee's problem, doesn't mean he can solve his own problem. You understand? I can see your face and say, hey, there is something sticking here. Doesn't mean I have the ability to see what is sticking on my face. I need somebody else to tell, hey, here there is something. So each of us have to consult other Vaishnavas as to the balance. We'll always be in doubt. Sometimes doubt will come. So we should discuss with them, and then you will be able to see better that whether I am out of some motivation I am avoiding services or it is genuine.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhu, this is a question regarding identity. So we have different egos, we take different roles in the organization. So when we go out and we deal with the outside people, we have to take a different kind of mood. And when we come back to the temple, we have to be in a mood of servant of the servant, like servant of other Vaishnavas. So how to develop that agility wherein I can change from one identity to another identity? It may be useful in soulful japa as well, like Sevak Bhavan Mala we do. So at that time we have to take the japa doer ego, in which I will know nothing else and I will do nothing else. So wherein it becomes difficult because that our service identity is there, in which planning and all is going on. So that comes into forefront while chanting also. So it becomes difficult. So is there any way which we can develop our agility of the identities, that if I want to be someone at this point of time, I will be that person and I will do that particular kind of activity. And when I'll come to temple, I'll be a servant of the servant, so that we can have better relationships in like ashram also.
Okay. With respect to japa, I given a solution for this, which is the anchoring tapasya. That means, first round, you will have thoughts of so many things, all those things, and then yesterday's problems, this thing, all those things will be running in your mind, all those things. Or next, today, what all I should do when you wake up, I should go here, do this, do that, all those things will be running. So, initially, we have to, that anchoring tapasya means that you engage in that service as a nama sevak ego in a disciplined way for some time, means maybe it's 10 beats, 20 beats, 30 beats. And because you have cultivated that nama sevak ego, it will start replacing all other role plays. And then by the time you start off your second round, or even you already loaded, you have forgotten all other egos, provided you have cultivated a very strong nama sevak ego. So there are many factors, because you see, we adopt egos for what rasa? For what purpose? Rasa. So if there is rasa, more rasa in some other, then we cannot leave it. So the switching happens. It's a matter of how we become aware of our different roles, and it becomes easy after some time. It does not always take time. It means it's not always you need anchoring tapasya. Just like you're talking to one devotee. Then suddenly, that devotee goes away, you finish the talk, another devotee comes. Immediately you switch over your role play. Your relationship ego with him is different. Relationship ego with him is different. Relationship with everybody is different, isn't it? Suppose I am sitting in my office. I am dealing with one devotee. Then my whole consciousness or my ego, servant ego as with another Vaishnava, that is what is the role play that is happening. Even though I am doing that, suddenly let us say there is some emergency, somebody calls or a security calls, says problem at the gate or something like that. Immediately, role immediately changes. So we have got the ability to do that. So that agility is even in the karmi world, they say work while you work, play while you play. That means when you work, you work. When you play, you play. So when you chant, you chant. When you preach, you preach. Like that. For each work there is a mind, ego, intelligence slice, trained slice. So that if that is very nicely cultured and cultivated, then you will be absorbed in that work. That's why I have brought out that principle of Namasevak ego. It has to be cultured. What ego means what? What is the desire? What is the way? Japa doer ego is what? Linking. Japa desire ego is what? Japa egos, desirer ego. Japa desirer ego is to please the Lord. Japa doer seer ego is what? He sees the Nama and transcendental Lord descending and all those things. So there is in every ego means there is a seeing, there is a being, there is seeing, there is desiring, there is doing, there is experiencing. Every ego slice. So we feed all these things. During japa, what I should be seeing. During japa, what I should be desiring. During japa, what I should be doing. During japa, what I should be, etc. Feeling, what I should be feeling. So that way we culture and cultivate a japa ego. Just like I gave the example of how a husband and a wife, they just get married. When they just get married, they do not know each other so much. So a relationship ego, a husband is building a relationship ego to deal with the wife. Wife is developing a relationship ego to deal with the husband. So they are learning. So later on it becomes, oh, I know him very well. I know her very well. Both ways you know very well. Then very easily the relationship happens, right? But with respect to japa, we never develop a relationship with the Nama, even after 20 years, 30 years. So we have to develop a relationship with the Nama Prabhu. Every day as we go on chanting, more number of years we chant, our relationship with the holy name deepens. Nama Sevak ego becomes rich with bhavanas. Ultimately, the bhavanas are feelings of the Nama Sevak. Any other question? Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.